Good morning, everyone. So today I am going to be on the road again with lack of ability to travel internationally. My current travels are confined to domestic, short bursts of flights, and on the road by car. So I have several pens currently inked, and in the past I've mentioned I carry them because I don't want to have to think about having to have drying pens and having to clean pens while I'm away and the pen's not with me, and not necessarily because I use them all. So whatever currently ink pens as of January 2022 will be carried with me. Now, how to carry those? The other thing, of course, is stationery. Not stationery, but the journals and the planners and the rest of it. So let's have a look at first the journals or the planners or the books. Let's call them the books. No-brainer planner. This is created for easy carry, high efficiency. The weeks, I've spoken about that a lot. So that's one. The usual, hold on a second. The usual journal, the journal proper. Sorry, I don't know what that is. This one here, and this will be taken off its cover and moved to a zipper cover. So that's put aside. And the other consideration is this. This is my mindful journaling. And yes, I've changed the cover again because with the with traveling in mind, the other one, this one here that you've seen, I really am not in the mood to have to deal with plastics and the smell of it and the cracking edges when you throw them around in your bag. So I'm taking this off, and this is a little bit more sturdy. I don't know anything about this game. It's a Nintendo game called Mother or Earthbound, depending on whether you're in the US or in Japan, but this was available secondhand for a very reasonable price, and the leather is good. This is a sort that will mature, that will patina like this one here, and it's used. That's why it's cheap, with a lot of markings, which to me is part of the charm. I like that type of leather. So, and that's the brass Kaweco Sport. So it's quite hefty together. And although there's no issue going up in the car, I have to fly back. This means having to only have 2 bags into the plane with me. Don't necessarily want to check anything in because it's an hour flight, and checking in bags means having to wait around for bags to come out at the other end. So this means having to think about carrying all this in a huge load or in an extra bag. So I have my backpack, and then I have my day bag. So those are 2, one overhead and the other one usually under the seat in front of me. And it means my backpack can only be so big, which is my usual backpack that I've carried since the early 2000s. So I would be carrying that. Long story short, the heaviness of it doesn't really matter when I go up, but when I come back, this is pretty heavy. So the question is, do I really want to have this mindful journaling? What is the point of my mindful journaling? How do I practice my mindful journaling? Do I have to sit with it every day? And I will talk about this separately. And the way I have decided the rules for myself, and all centered around my goal for mindful journaling. The goal for mindful journaling is to be more mindful. It's not to fill the journal. And so given that, I think I may leave this behind. So I really can't decide at the moment. I'm being picked up in 2 hours time, so I'm packing right now. So I'll leave this aside for the moment. So this is 2. Now the pens. So current ink pens are these 3, plus this one here, which I've shown you as one of my favorite workhorses. And I'm gonna do a follow-up review of this one here, because in my currently inked pen for January, I'll talk a bit more about it. I stopped using this for a day because I was playing around with this one here, and guess what? The tip of it dried a little bit. So that really put a mark against it as I said it'll be top 5. I think it'll be one of my top 5 workhorses pens instead of my top 5 pen of the year sort of thing. So that could be an interesting category for 2022. So anyway, so 3 here, 2 here, and I have 1 Kaweco that I use to note the cat's dietary intake. So there's 1, 2, there's 6 at the moment that is inked, and for obvious reasons this won't fit. This is actually my favorite to carry around because it's sturdy, although for a sturdier travel this can be exposed to all sorts of hard edges and that will destroy the pen. So not for long travels, but I need 5. So I'm thinking of this one here. This fits a lot of pens, about 9 to 10 depending on the size of your pens. However, as you can see here, the pens will be stored next to each other. It means that they rub against each other. So although with these 2 I don't mind so much, they do scratch. I'm a little weary of these 3 scratching against each other, especially when I roll it and throw this in my backpack and it get banged around. So let's have a look anyway. So let's do this. For 6, I don't have, what is that? I don't have 6. I have a case for 5. So what I might be able to do is put 5 in that case and then put 1 in the zipper cover where this will be stored. I don't know yet. But the problem with that, for 6, the whatchamacallit, the pen case for 6 is magnetic. It means that the flap can accidentally be open. But again, you know, this flight is only an hour, so I probably shouldn't be too worried about that. So that is for the pen, and you can feel this between the pen and the outside world is just this 1 layer of thin leather here, unlike say this one here. So this is more protective, and you could see each of them are sleeves individually so they don't rub against each other. Here on the other hand, but you know, so it's either that and this with, hold on a second, let me show you. Sorry guys, I really should have prepared this earlier. So this one here and that one there, so that will fit 5, but as you can see, this, and that's pretty big. A lot of things can go through, not the most secure to travel with. And I could add the other one in here. Or will I put this here? Or I could just do this. Sorry, that's the wrong book. Yeah, so for the moment, this is from 2021. This is to be retired. So we'll sit that there. So I think this might be the most economic. I think I'll try this. So that, and that. I've traveled with this before, so I think it's time to test this one. And leave some of my favorite pen cases behind. And so the other question also is whether to take my dietary record intake. So these 2 are to be considered, and those are to take. As you can see, it's bulking up pretty fast, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll update you once I'm there. And this also means if I carry this individually, this means I have to put this in a cover because to close it. And but in order to do that, with Hobonichi. To close it, you have to put a pen, and I don't necessarily want to have a pen, any of these pens exposed, getting banged around in my bag. So I may put all this, well, not all this. This has to be in my handbag because it's, so maybe these two. No, what am I talking about? These two here like this, these two in a bag, its own bag. I think this is just way too bulky on top of everything else I have to carry. I mean, that is a third of it. So I think we'll go these two, or even just that. Just that. Because again, the aim, what is the aim? The aim of that is not so much to record everything that I've eaten throughout the year, but more to establish a pattern of my dietary intake in relation to my health and how that affects my health, such as my general health and kidney health indicators, such as blood pressure. And so if I miss a week, I don't think it will compromise the overall picture. So I may leave that. And so we will talk more about my update on these two and how they function. I will insist for myself on ultimately returning to the aim of why I do this, and whether the aim of why I record all this is compromised or not compromised by insisting on having to put an entry every day, especially when you're traveling. I think I'm just going to be away for a week. So yeah, so that's it for now, and then I'll let you know. I mean, I'll let you know if on the other side what I end up with. So good morning to you all, and I'll talk to you later.